Physician Formula came out with the Murmur Butter Collection Limited Edition. Even though I see why they say limited edition, but basically the only reason it makes it limited edition, my dears, is because all of the products Physician Formula sells, all of their bronzers, highlighters, eyeshadows, everything is all literally in this one packet. It's kind of bulky, and you can open it up like a book. Now, if you're curious of finding out what type of products are in here, like how are they packaged, are the products in here any good, or would it be good for everybody, or maybe just a beginner or an advanced person? Do they blend? How does it work? And does it really match with a lot of the products that they sell individually? So if you're curious of finding out about this lovely Physician Formula holiday set, and also how I created this look, yes, this look, my dears, then keep watching. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my dears, and thank you so much for pushing the little play button. I really appreciate it. Now, today I'm going to be giving you my review demo on this new Physician Formula Murmur Butter Collection Limited Edition. Literally has all of the products that they sell all in one package. It's all nice, packed in, and good to maybe, gift giving for the holidays that's coming up soon, my dears. And it's next month. It's ridiculous how fast the holidays are coming, my dears. And I will also be showing you how I created this look. And I will also be telling you my thoughts and these type of applications are put on and differences, etc. But right before I do, I just want to remind you, please consider subscribing and remember to push the little notification bell. Because it will let you know when my videos are up and loaded, and I do load every Monday and Friday, my dears. Every Monday and Friday. You've heard it right. And also, please follow me on all of my social medias on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and even Snapchat, because it will let you know when my videos are up and loaded. And so, for no further ado, let's go straight into the review / tutorial. Well, welcome back, my dears, and it's extremely cold. I have a baby scarf on, and yes, I have my Mickey and Minnie and my mini little band to match. And for I can tell you, just the ones who are actually curious, the temperature of this lovely Saturday morning, it's 46 degrees. It's cold, and I don't know if you're able to see the steam from my coffee. It's cold. Whew, that felt good. I'm so sorry, that felt really good. But welcome back, I really appreciate it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, by the way. Now, as I stated in the intro, I will be demonstrating you the products that came in this lovely Physician Formula Ultimate Murmur Butter Collection Limited Edition. Yes, limited edition. But the only reason this makes it limited edition is because it's all of the Physician Formula products. All of their bronzers, all of their blushes, all of their eyeshadows, all of their highlighters, and those lovely lipsticks. Or I say, well, I don't really call them lipstick, I call them lip balms with tints. Anyways, everything's in here. Now, as you can tell, it is nice and huge. So, right now what you see, I am barefaced, but I do have my brows on. I do have primer, and of course I have it set already with a white eyeshadow that's in here, by the way, and I'm trying to look at the back, and it's called Tan Lines. Alright, my dears, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how this opens up and goes right here, and here are the eyeshadows, and it has a protective coating. So this is the color that I use that's set on my eyes. Now, this is not going to be too much of a tutorial. It's me kind of showing you what a lot of these colors can do, and I will have some colors today, or my attempt. You're gonna see why I say attempt in a minute. But yes, I have been trying these eyeshadows on for like the past week. I already have my thoughts and opinions on these, yeah. So, as you can tell, I'm gonna give you one last look of all the shadows. Now, these shadows are a combination of these two shadows right over here that recently came out. They're the exact same shades and everything. They just put it in this nice square little box instead. Yeah. Okay. And these have like the scent of the Murmur, like older products, but it's very light. So in case you're very sensitive to scents, lifting, is there, but it's not very strong. Ooh, this thing's heavy to hold. So the first color I'm gonna go and apply to my crease. I'm going to be using this color right over here, and that color is called Rolling Tides. And I'm going to bring this mirror right over here, and I am bringing you a little bit closer just so you can see how the eyeshadows actually look like. So I'm going to be using my Sigma E40. What else, right? Of course, what else? Sorry, it's cold. Now these, another reason I'm doing mine, besides the fact that it's my normal habit, they're very powdery and they will go all over your face. So with this, do your eyes first. And I'm going to put this one all over, sorry, it's cold, all over the crease. Now, as you can tell just from that color alone, it is very light. If you are a deeper complexion, this may not show up on you. If you're my skin tone lighter, it will. But I'm using this mostly like a transition starter shade, not the main color. I'm going to build up some other colors. But yeah. Alright, and this is basically the color that you're going to get. It's like a nice, soft transition shade. As you can tell, it's very, very soft. And I will be using this as we go on. You'll see in what way soon. Then I'm going to grab another Sigma E40. And I'm going to deepen my crease. I'm going to go ahead and use this color right over here. So it's the third one up. And that would be Coco Loco. I'm going to put my brush in here. As you can tell, it gets everywhere. Everywhere, my dears. And I'm going to put it on top of the other color. Now you see how that color, it does have a little bit more color, which I think it will be a little bit more better with more wider complexion tones. But it gave that nice little warmth. Now here's the thing about these eyeshadows, I want to let you know, every single one of them. Now I'm more of a fan towards the matte shades than the shimmer shades. I'm going to show you why the shimmer shades are a little bit of an issue. But their mattes are a little bit more of their strength. They are easy to blend, they are. But you have to build it up. It's not one of those eyeshadows to where you put it in there, you're like, oh, pigments, there's a lot of pigment. No, you have to slowly build and build and build. If you are a beginner in makeup, that's actually fantastic because there's a lot less chance of an error. If you're like me that is used to dealing with a lot of makeup, this can actually get on your nerves. This process actually gets on my nerves, I ain't gonna lie, it actually is. But also if you're like in a hurry, particular eyeshadow formulas won't be good because as you can tell, you have to build them up. You're not going to be out the door that quickly. And then I'm going to show you this other color. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow colors. Keep in mind, I said colors, not formula. Nice orangey, brownish, reddish color over here. And that would be Barefoot in Brazil. So if you have these, the palettes that recently came out, and if you want to follow the process, you can actually those palettes out because that's what these are, to be honest with you. And then I'm actually going to use, because I'm going to put that a little bit on the crease but not as high as the other two colors, I'm going to be using yes, I know I got a lot of brushes in my ears, a lot of brushes. I'm going to be using my Sigma E25 brush, and I'm going to put it in the crease, but like I said, just not as high. Now, remember what I said about going back into this brush and going to that first color that you could barely see? I'm actually going to go back into that exact color, and I'm going to put it all over the crease. That way all the colors can be nice and smoothed out and blended. Now, are you guys seeing the difference of the blendability of this side to this side? It's a lot more smoother, it's a lot more put together. I will be adding some of the shadows again in a minute. I just need them blended. Now I will be going back to those colors just to build it up just a little bit, and then I'm going to blend again. Now on just on that combination alone, are you guys seeing how these eyeshadows, you kind of have to work with them a little bit more than usual, and when you blend they do lighten up just a tad, they do become a lot softer. So if you are looking for eyeshadows that can become quite soft, these will be absolutely perfect for you. Like I said, I'm just blending, I'm not adding any additional product, and you see how it's just gently, like literally gently, the color is just going nice and soft into the skin. Now I'm going to go on with the lid, and I'm going to show you a few things, my dears. I'm going to show you a few things. My instinct when I tried these, the shimmers here, they're a little bit more fussy than the mattes. The mattes, you can at least make it work. The shimmers and even some of the color, they tend to muddy up. I'm sorry, I said it, I'm sorry. They tend to muddy up. For instance, if I want to go ahead and use this color, for instance, see how that is? And I put it right on the lid. You see it, right? And this is the most intense you're going to be able to get is with your finger, by the way, because if you do it with a brush, it won't even show up. Like, let me show you. So if I use my MAC 242 brush, I go back into that same shade. Look what it looks like on this side. You see how this side is a lot more intense than this one? Yeah. So what I would have to do is go like this. And I can go back and use this brush if I really wanted to, just for it can be a little bit not as harsh. But yeah, the intensity is not that great. Because these shadows are a little bit more on the softer end, and if that's what you're looking for, that's great. For me, I'm just into pigment. So these shimmers, you really have to use your fingers. And if you're the type that don't like using your fingers for makeup, this may be an issue. Just letting you know. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit more color to my eye, but I am gonna have a multiple of colors, but I'll actually have a reason why, and I want you to see the differences on these colors on the eyes. So I'm actually going to be playing around with the theme with the blues and the purples today. On the outer corner, I'm going to be using these two purples, and I'm going to show you why. Let me go ahead and use another Sigma E25 that I have. I'm going to show you what the light one does. And this is in the shade Ready for Real. And I'm going to show you what this product does. Remember, I have not wet it, I haven't anything. You see how nice and soft that is? But it's like barely seeable, so you really have to build that up. If you want to use your fingers, like I said, some of you may not want the finger. It's still not as intense, so just a little FYI, that is not intense. But if you're looking for something nice and soft, like really soft, that actually will look really good all over the lid. Then I'm actually going to still use this exact same brush, and I'm going to put this color that's on top, this darker purple, and that one, it is Coastal Cheek. Coastal Cheek. Okay, so I'm going to put my brush in here, and all of these are very powdery. And I'm going to put it on top of that color, and I want you to see the intensity, if you want to call it intensity. Look at this very light one that we used a second ago, and this one. It's a little more purple, but not by much. Yeah. Now you see why I'm layering up? Yeah. Now let me show you what the difference is when I use MAC Fix Plus, because if you're like me that likes a lot of pigmentation, you're going to be using this, because I've had to use this quite a bit. Alright, you see the intensity is a little bit more purple, it's a little bit more doable. You have to really work in the products. I mean, you have to really work it in. So if you don't want to fuss this much, yeah, another thing to think about. But in all aspect, like a lot of eyeshadows, if you want intensity, using MAC Fix Plus is usually a normal thing, so I can't completely count that as a negative on this palette because it is kind of normal, you know. Now I'm going to jump into these two blues right over here, and these are, sorry, I was looking in the back, Peer Pressure and Beach Beige. Am I reading these right? Why would that be a bit?
Which I'm pausing this for just a second because technically I'm right. I'm reading some of these backwards, so I do apologize. But for these colors, the correct color names are Rolling Tides and Midnight Stroll. So I may be doing some of that throughout the video, so I do apologize. It's just trying to read it from the back is kind of difficult. My apologies.
I'm not gonna question. I'm just not gonna question nothing no more. My ears out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use another MAC 242 brush, and I'm gonna be going into what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the opposite what I did up there. I'm gonna use the dark shade and then use this lighter blue on top. That way you can actually see what it can do. Now this darker one does have a little bit of shimmer in it, but see what the shimmer is actually doing. Yeah, that's the blue. Not very intense. And let me show you what it does with the actual finger. As you can tell, not too much of a difference. I don't know if you're catching the theme of this palette yet, but these eyeshadow palettes are really, really soft. They're really soft shadows. So these shadows work well if you're going to work because they're very soft. They're not intense. These will be perfect for a natural going to work look, and if you want to put a little bit of color, it won't be as intense. And then I'm going to use the exact same brush, except I'm going to use the other side, and I'm going to use that lighter blue and put it on top. Now, if I go ahead and add a little bit of Max Fix Plus, I want you to see the intensity. See how it popped up a lot more? The intensity has a little bit more sheen, even though it is a very light blue. It's not coming out very like bright. I know. I'm actually going to be using this Luxie brush, this 131 brush. All the glitter makes the glitter so hard to see. And I'm actually going to be using, I'm going to use a little bit of this gold right over here. And a mixture of this bottom one right over here, which would be, I believe it is Rainforest Queen and Moonlight Beige. And I'm going to put it all over the brow bone. What I mean? Very soft. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to be using this IT Cosmetic brush number 103. And I'm actually going to add a little bit more of a, if you want to call it gleam, up where my brow bone is. As I showed you earlier, if you pull this out, these are the highlighters. So I'm actually going to use some of the highlighter and put it on my brow bone. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of this gold and a little bit of color right over here, which in return it would be rose gold and champagne. And I'm going to put it on a brow bone. And then of course with no additional product, I'm going to blend that section. As you can tell, the highlighters in this quad is actually quite soft as well. Yes, this whole thing is soft. Alright my dears, and that's basically all I'm going to be doing to the eyes from this palette, because the rest of the products that are in here, as I stated, it is bronzers, highlighters, which we'll be playing more with the highlighters, so don't worry about that, just don't worry my dears, and lipsticks. I believe that's all that's left. The lip gloss, yes. So what I'm going to do at the moment, I'm going to step away and then I'll be right back. Alright my dears, and I'm back. As you can see, the rest of my face is put on my dears. Yes. So we're gonna go on and let's finish, well, me showing you how the rest of the products works. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish up underneath my eyes. I'm gonna be using the two blues that we used previously. I'll be using my Sigma 830. So we're gonna open back the book. That's what I call it, the book. And I'm going to go back and use the darker shade underneath. And I'm going to go back into that lighter blue. Alright, and now my eyes are officially done. I'm not going to mess with it. That's all I'm doing to them. That's all I'm doing to them, my dears. And like I said, I do have my eyeliner right underneath here. If you're wondering what's my inner liner, it's not drugstore, it's Marc Jacob. So, shh, don't tell nobody. I kind of went outside the drugstore area, but shh. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and let's finish up. Oh, and just in case you're curious, the primer I'm using is the Wonder Beauty Oil and Base. And I'm using the TooFaced Born This Way foundation, just in case you were curious. The bronzer side, it's all on this side. That's right next door to the eyeshadows. And this lovely, heavy, dirty protector. Hopefully you felt the sarcasm in that. Flip this over, and these are all, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, all the bronzers that Precision Formula has. This is a great line because you can use this as eyeshadows as well, and I have used these as eyeshadows. They're very light, just letting you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my e.l.f. Glue Flat Complexion brush, and I'm gonna do some mixing. So, because there's a lot of shimmers on here, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the three that I actually like. I like this bottom one right over here. Okay, this bottom one is called Endless Summer. Sorry, the way they have it here is just Endless Summer. I'm going to mix this. I'm also going to mix a little bit of these two right over here, which is bronzer, like the famous bronzer, and deep bronzer. Which, I don't know why that's deep. Does not look deep to you. That's the theme of a lot of this palette, is palette. And I'm going to put it everywhere that I need contouring. So you can tell that gave out like a nice darker complexion, which I do like, because I do like my bronzers to show. It's like my favorite step in makeup is bronzer. I ain't gonna lie, why lie? I'm going to add a little bit more bronzer, doing just a touch more of these two colors right over here. The good thing about having a palette that has a lot of these bronzers, you can mix it because, well, you can, my dears. No, I basically used a lot of the mattes in here. Now, if I wanted to add a little bit of shimmer, which I will, because well, I'm gonna demo it. I'm gonna use this color right over here, and that is in Sunset Bronzer. And I'm gonna put it right here gently. There, I have a little bit of shine, just a little bit. And that's basically the bronzers right there. Now, these bronzers, they blend in beautifully. They seem to have like the same formula as you would in the regular pans that they sell. It is absolutely fantastic. What I do like about the bronzers, because I do like the bronzer section, is blendable. You can pick whatever shade that will be you, and you can mix. As you saw, I mixed like 3 different ones. And you saw the color that it looks on my skin tone. If you are darker, you can, and you can mix quite a bit. So I think this is a good range of products that you can use for your skin to deep complexion. But if you're much deeper, I can't really speak to that. And the only reason I'm speaking to a little bit deeper is because I am a makeup artist and I do work on deeper complexion clients. But if you're like really deep, let me know if a Physician Formula bronzers actually work for you or not, because I'm actually not sure. So let me know, comment below. I'm kind of curious. Then the next step will be blush. This is the cute little part about this. Ta-da! Blush. I like my ta-das. And then I'm going to be using, I'll go ahead and use this Tarte blush brush, but it doesn't give me a number or anything. It's one of those unicorn ones. And as you can tell, it has a variety of different shades. So I'm going to be the crazy person at the moment, and I'm going to use everything. Because the reason I can use everything is because these colors are, I'm gonna see if you can actually get the theme out of this whole palette. It's soft. See the color I gave? As you can tell, I went through every single color like a mad woman. You know, me, makeup, I'm scared. I'm not scared, my dears. It is pigmented, as you can tell. It gave like that nice little coral pink situation. But the only issue I have with these, the only thing about these is that they're nice. They're blendable, as you can tell. It's very nice. It has a nice flush. The only argument I have about these that I don't like is that these blushes actually do not, and I mean do not, last on my skin very well. Like after a few hours, it's gone. Which is why I'm like pounding so much on blush. And even though I'm putting a lot of blush on, it's still not gonna last on my skin. So yeah, there's that. And then we're gonna go straight into highlighter. So we're gonna close this and we're gonna go in the other direction. Yes, now these highlighters, they're not like the other ones, they're not powder, they're cream. For cream, I use my IT Cosmetics 103 brush. And as you can tell, it does sway a little bit depending on your range, depending on your highlighter range or color preference. So for me, in case you haven't caught my theme yet, I will be mixing. Like this one is my favorite. Oh, I like this green one too, and they're so nice. That's how those two look. Oh, well, you know I'm mixing, my dears. You know I'm mixing. Those two, by the way, once I go back here, Pearl and Iridescence. Well, yeah, I can see why that's called Iridescence. So I'm gonna put my brush in here. Put my brush in here. I'm gonna mix these two. I'm gonna put it all over the cheeks, nose, and everywhere else. Just everywhere. And then I'm actually gonna be going a little bit on this color right over here, the bottom one, which is called Champagne, and a little bit of this rose that's at the bottom there, that's called Pink Rose. And I'm gonna put this like right here in the very, very front. Just so we can have a little difference of an effect. I love these highlighters. I love the iridescent. Like these two are my favorite. I ain't gonna lie. Those top two are my favorite. And then I'm actually gonna use MAC Fix Plus. That way the creams and the powders and everything else sings together, my dears. And then I'm gonna show you the lipstick lip gloss situation, or bombs. Those happen, I think it's this direction, hold on. Yep, you pull out even more, and here are all the colors. Ideally, the way they have it here, I personally do not think it is a fantastic way to travel, in my opinion, because if you need to go and touch up, I doubt you want to, you know, grab it and do it like this. Now, I have tried the regular way, how this is packaged originally. This picture right over here, it does give out some pigment. Here, I don't know if it's because it's in a pan. I don't think it's a different formula. I think it's the same formula. I just think the way it's packaged is a lot lighter. Now, the best way to put it in pans like this would be a lip brush, which I thought I had a lip brush, but I don't know where it went. So we're going to be using, I know I'm going to be bougie, a Q-tip. And I'm going to show you how it is with the finger. And even with that, it's not as intense as you would think. It's very interesting. So we're going to be mixing, I can't speak English, mixing some colors today. So I'm going to be doing this darker color right over here, which is called Carnival. And we're going to do it all with the fingers because I want you to see the difference. That color right over here. I want to do this coral right over here, which is Samba Red. Am I looking at the right thing? I think so. Yeah, Samba Red. And I'm going to mix this one right over here as well. That's called Pink. So it's nice and creamy. Use this first color. So you can tell it's not a lot. And this is the darker shade I'm putting on, my dears. Yeah, it's like nothing's on my lips, right? It's like not really buildable either. Then you're thinking, okay, maybe it's just the application method. Going back into the darker, right? A little better, but not by much, right? Yeah. Let's go into this coral one. Has a little bit more color. Let's try it with the Q-tip, because I want you to see the actual difference. Yeah, it's a little bit more color, but not by much. And then I'm going to use this one, which I haven't tried yet. As you guys saw, even with all those three colors, it's not much color, not much pigment, no matter what method we did. So they're very light. I would prefer the ones that actually come in their actual package, to be honest, because you can have one in your car, in your purse, and while you're, having like a little later before you put an actual lipstick on or whatsoever. It's balmy, but don't expect much color, as you can see. And that, my dears, is everything in this palette. So I'm gonna set my face, and I'm gonna be using the Anastasia Dewy setting mist. I want everything to be set. So give me a moment, and I'll come back and let you know my my thoughts and who I think this palette is actually good for. See you in just a second, my loves. Alright, my loves, I am back. My hair is nice and down, and it's combed right in the completion of my makeup. Now, let me tell you my thoughts of this product. Now, this product is a pretty big, big size. So if you're questioning, can this be a travel? Possibly. This could be, because a lot of the face products is here. All you have to add is what? Mascara, foundation, and primer. Maybe a lipstick, because I already showed you the result. But if you look at the edges right over here, they're very flimsy, and I would not trust these. So if you do decide to have this as a travel, because I can understand the concept, I would put it I would literally put it in a big bag that you have, wrap it around with like some cloth or old shirt or whatever, make sure it's nice and tight with a rubber band, and make sure this doesn't like snap and it just be a huge mess. So like I said, because these are very flimsy and they look like something I would get from the 99-cent store, yeah, just letting you know. And I'm literally putting this close, that way you can actually see what I'm talking about. Now this, I believe it's about 2 feet, I think. I could be wrong, but I think about 2 feet. And let's go how everything is, shall we? So when we open up, we do have the eyeshadows here, and we do have the bronzers. Now the eyeshadows, as you saw, they're very light. You can blend them easily, so there's no issue there. So if you're a beginner, that's fantastic. And another good point is that they do have a little bit of fragrance, but it's so light though, so you can barely tell. Like even now, it's not like a TooFaced eyeshadow where you open it up and you're like, oh! No, these are like, you have to be like that freaking close to even like smell anything. So no, they're very light. And the colors are nice. They are. The negative. I've tried different looks with this for the past week with just neutrals, a little pop color. Let me try how it is with just like a shimmer. They become very muddy. It's not a favorite of mine. This is one of the least favorite that I have. I'm not a fan of their eyeshadows. I'm sorry, I'm not. How I created this, to be honest, this is one of the best shadow looks I've done in about a week. Yeah, if that tells you anything, my dears. It's not my best. It's so light. Now, if your personality is having that barely there shadow, you just want to have a little something, this will actually work out. Now, for the lasting power of the eyeshadows, they're not very good because most work days, let's say if you want to do this as for work, the average is around 8-9 hours, correct? Well, these last around 5-6-ish. The lasting power is not that great, and if you want to use this for night, it's gonna fade fairly quickly. So these are not a fantastic lasting power, and keep in mind I do use primer underneath, set, everything else. I use primer for everything. They're not my favorite. Would these be a continuation of colors that I would use? I would say yes, I would, because I have them. But are they my favorite? No. Are they fantastic and blowing my mind? No. And if you're thinking, oh, it's because it's lighter, my dears, I do have palettes that are a little bit lighter and they work well, but this it's just fussy. So I would say unless you're extremely light and don't expect to be out too long, this is a fail. Are the blushes. I love the colors. They're very nice. They're very light. The theme here, light. Like very beginner friendly. All of these 7 blushes on my face, my dears, and you saw it came out very nice. You can also use these as eyeshadows as well. I have used these as eyeshadows, but unfortunately these have the same effect as these. The lasting power is not that great. Don't know. And even these on my cheek, this is gonna fade in like about 3 hours. They'll be gone. So these are pretty colors to put on, but they don't last. I don't know if it's because texture or I don't know. But these are very nice colors for eyeshadows or whatsoever. But oddly enough, these do last a little bit longer on the eyes than it does in the cheeks. So I would say the blushes are good. Or if you usually have good luck with long-lasting blushes, then try them out. But if you have the same issue that I do, avoid it. Of course, if you pull this out even more, we're gonna go straight into the lip balms with tints, supposedly. Now, as you saw from the application methods, these don't really show up with color. Even I did the darkest first. You saw not much color came off of it. It just didn't, my dears. It just didn't. Yeah, I tried mixing, as you can tell, and I didn't add any additional one when I stepped away, nothing. It looks a little bit glossy. I give it that. But will I say it gave me some actual color? No. These have colors, right? I'm sure you're gonna want to see some color on your lips. But if it doesn't really happen, what would be the point? Just saying. If you do want to try these, it's actually pretty good. For the regular lip balms, those are fantastic, and I do love that formula. They're not like extremely intense, but you see that there's color there and it's nice and balmy. It's buy that instead. This, it's a fail. Now let's go to the right side. The bronzers. The bronzers are fantastic. They're blendable. These are a favorite. I love these. They last on my skin. Very nice. You can mix colors, as you saw. I mixed them. I even added a little shimmer, and it's not so bad. The shimmer here is not like so intense. The theme of this whole palette, as we can tell, I probably said it a lot in this video, is very light. It's very soft. Light and soft. Yes. The only issue that I'm seeing, because like I said, I've tried this for about a week, and I'm starting to see a little bit down about the hip pan, and I'm like, wait. So yeah, there's not a lot of product in this collection, interestingly enough, but it's a good way to try out the products. I'll pull this out. We have those lovely highlighters. These are also one of my favorites. My favorite part. Now, the positive is that the colors are fantastic. They're eye-catching, and it does give out different colors. You can mix them. It's fantastic. I do love the creams. I really do. And it does last on your skin longer than the blushes. I'm not going to say all day, but longer than the blushes, my dears. The negative is that, one, it doesn't last very long on your skin. Seeing another theme here? And like over here, this is starting to have a little bit of a dome because that's the one I seem to like most, and that's probably the one I'm going to finish off the most, but it's not a lot of product, but this is a good product to test out. And then of course, you know, the mirror. Alright, my dears, and that's basically my thoughts of every single section of the Physician Formula Burma Limited Edition. I think that, like I said, the only reason it's called limited editions because everything that they sell is in here. So I would say if you are a beginner of makeup and you just don't want all that intensity, you're still trying to figure out what blending is, how to perfect it, want something nice and soft, or even want to try a little bit of color but you're kind of scared of going too intense, you just want a little something, this will actually be a very good product for you. It's nice and soft and light. It's perfect number one recommendation for a beginner. So I would say give this for the holidays for someone that's a beginner of makeup and just trying to figure out the whole makeup application thing. This is what this would be good for. If you're a little bit more advanced in makeup or a lot of pigmentation, some color, and just easyability where you can just put something on and leave, this would not be for you, my dears. So for me, I personally, that's how I would recommend it as a beginner. But for someone like me that's obsessed with makeup and been doing makeup for a couple of years, I would say no. Now, the fact that I do have this, I will use it because believe me, this was $39.95, my dears. I'm going to use these products all up. But would I buy a lot of the individual stuff from Physician Formula? No. And another negative thing about this is, well, look at the size. It's extremely bulky. You're going to have to put this like on a shelf somewhere because you can't really... Yeah, and then in the bathroom, you're really going to need a big amount of space because as indicated in the beginning of the video, it is huge. All right, my dears, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, and that's all my opinions and demos of this product. So, for no further ado, I want to say thank you, and thank you for pushing the little play button. And remember, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Now, one last thing before we leave. Say it with me if you know what I'm about to say. Be safe, be kind, be careful. I love you. I miss you, and I'll see you on my next video. See you soon.